Yeah, speaking of adaptations, let's talk about The World Ends With You, the animation.
Well, would you look at that? Finally, an adaptation of one of my favorite JRPGs, or JPEGs as I like to call them. Please, I'm trying to be funny. That episode count is a bit yikesy, but I'm sure it's nothing. We kick off our story with some flashbacks for spoiler reasons before cutting to our main character Neku waking up at the crossroads of Shibuya, not knowing how or why he possesses a mysterious black pin. Okay, I guess they removed Neku's beginning monologue. That's a choice. I hope it's not because of the runtime, but we'll have to keep going. Okay, someone passes through him and he reads their mind. He's shell-shocked, almost gets run over, and figures out that he's basically a ghost. Cut to a later time, and we see that Neku's trapped in this area by invisible walls before he gets a mysterious text from a mysterious party, telling him to reach a location in the city in an hour or face erasure. A sudden timer appears on his right palm, and he sees a couple of people like him getting destroyed by frog monsters before getting a girl's help. This girl, Shiki Misaki, seems to know what's going on and hurries Neku to make a pact with her in order to fight the monsters called Noise. They fight the baddies in a short fight scene, and we get the title crawl. Afterward, they chill a bit, and Neku gives Shiki his name. You're fucking with me right now. Like, Square, you are actually giving me the back alley treatment, aren't you? Neku, the self-important, distrustful, conceited, antisocial asshole, just gives this random girl he doesn't know his friggin' name? Lord, where do I begin with this? How about at the beginning when they didn't have Neku's monologue, cluing the audience in on his disliking of people and self-isolation? Is it try-hard, edgy, a bit irritating? Congratulations, you got the point. Without this monologue, you get no read on who Neku is as a person or the central flaws that the rest of the game is built around. Granted, there are ways that you could do this without the monologue, but having him give Shiki's name so quickly here just disregards a central aspect about his character. In the game, after the two beat the Noise, Neku was so irritated and preoccupied with wanting to get out of Dodge that he ran off without giving Shiki his name. This scene also pushes forth one of Neku's other defining traits, how he puts the smart in smartass. He's incredibly observant and intelligent, emphasized by how he typically keeps his thoughts to himself while he puts the pieces together. If anything, this makes him a very unique protagonist, because despite the fact that he is severely out of his element, he's never clueless, often being one of the first of the cast to pick up on the details. But Netflix adaptation over here said fuck all that, taking out all the thought bubbles he had in the original game that were designed to keep the audience in the loop, showcase his proactive character traits, and let us know about the thoughts that he clearly wants to keep hidden from everyone. But now, Neku's just a way more basic bitch protag, all because of this one decision. The most important part is that without the kicking and screaming it took for Neku to give his name to Shiki like in the original game, it erodes what comes next. So moving on, with the monsters gone and the walls erased, Neku still comes off as a bit skeptical, but Shiki lore dumps before heading to the destination. Two Reapers watch them, giving hints about their position in the game, with Neku being a huge interest to one of them. Well, let's hope they give that proper build-up. Anyways, they show up as soon as they clear the mission. Okay. And they zap the duo to the next day on the clock. Yep, no challenging fight that forces them to team up before having Neku internally lose it as the situation sets in. We got 15 minutes left on the runtime. So moving on to the second day, Shiki sits Neku down as he patiently takes in her exposition. Okay, even hinting at his amnesia twist for later. Okay. Basically, this is the Reaper's game. Players are essentially ghosts who can't talk with others, but can read normal people's minds. Their goal is to partner up with other players and use their powers and wits to clear daily missions within 7 days. Failure to complete the challenges or getting killed by the Noise will result in death by the Reapers, the admins of the game.
Then these chucklefucks show up.
Much like in the original, Beat's low IQ is showcased when he thought Neku and Shiki were Reapers cause they couldn't scan them, apparently freaked by meeting the same pink-haired Uzuki yesterday. They have a totally character-filled interaction before they receive a message to fight the noise at the Hachiko statue, which is literally right next to them. How challenging. Anyway, Netflix sees the noise and starts taking them down all on his own, getting angrier by the minute. Not entirely out of character, but then this happens.
Godhead is bound to self-destruct on his own. He's a giant noise magnet with all that negativity, and humans who get possessed by noise are as dangerous as they are unpredictable.
Damn, that sound grates my ears. Why? Why am I suddenly angry at everything?
What the fuck?
We'll come back to that. Anyway, Netflix farts them all away and Uzuki immediately shows up, even giving Neku's last name away. Damn, they really spoil that amnesia a bit early, don't they? Now, I want you guys to really pay attention to the order of events coming up here. You know, on the very unlikely chance that I go cuckoo for fucking Cocoa Puffs. Okay. So, Uzuki immediately tries to goad Netflix into killing Shiki for a one-way ticket out of the game, threatening him with erasure if he doesn't commit. Beat and the others rightfully say how fucked up that is, but Netflix, without any further incentives or even a countdown, proceeds to force choke Shiki like in the original. Who put this bullshit on my screen? What the hell is going on? Not only have they annihilated what made the original moment in the game so good, but they made it so basic. Prior to this moment in the game, the two actually had to make their way to the Hachiko statue, butting heads along the way and getting more frustrated with each other. You know, because Neku's self-absorbed and doesn't trust people. And after fighting at the Hachiko statue, Uzuki shows up, and Neku wants nothing to do with her. In fact, he wanted to fight her, but she showed her power level, adding credence to the Reapers as a threat. That's when she introduced the deal with Neku to kill Shiki. Neither of them can go against her, so one of them would need to survive. If her words were true, which Neku almost immediately sees through, since he doesn't want to just, kill someone for no reason. That's when Uzuki actually pulled a clever trick. She tricked Neku into thinking Shiki was a spy of theirs. A complete bullshit lie, but one that plays into Neku's paranoia, seeing Shiki nearly constantly looking at her phone as proof that she might be betraying them. And it is then, only then, did he force choke her. It wasn't him being possessed by the dark fucking Hado. But this? Not only did they just take the bite out of Neku's shitty behavior, but now his agency is in doubt because it wasn't even his choice. You can say that the noise possession is because of his dark emotions taking over, but he barely seemed to have showcased much of them explicitly or implicitly prior to this moment. The concept of being possessed by noise is introduced in this very scene, and it robs from the fact that Neku nearly committed murder originally because of his established character flaws. Flaws that he aims to mend for the rest of the game. Netflix, in contrast, has only vaguely been kind of an asshole while not really causing many problems throughout the story. So, what is his character arc? What is he supposed to learn from? And did they really just put this moment 13 minutes into the episode? Afterward, the mentor character Hanakoma swoops in and stops Neku by grabbing his arm. Something, Beat and Rhyme could have done. Maybe they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Who knows? Anyway, he gives info about being a referee for the game, and the Reapers killing players early on is a no-go. Then, Neku gets zapped into the third day without talking with him further. Netflix comes to and bumps into Shiki, who seems pretty cheerful despite Netflix almost murdering her. But I guess it makes more sense. After all, it's not like it was Netflix's fault or anything this time. And this jackass instantly apologizes, and Sheikflix is totally up to build their trust in each other. And Netflix instantly tells Sheikflix that he has amnesia, and we just skirt right over that when they get their next mission. Wait for it, just wait for it. They get to a concert hall before seeing someone with negative emotions creating the noise, where Nek and Sheik flicks kill with the power of friendship. Again, wait for it. They get inside the concert hall and the boss noise attacks the two. While Beat and Rhyme step in to keep out the minions, Nek and Sheik flicks wombo combos the boss and I'm sorry, what kind of shit is this? Listen, call me lazy, but I have officially run out of fucks to give about the plot and the changes to it. This shit just pisses me off way too much. And probably way more than it should, but fuck you, I don't have a problem. I don't give a fuck about the implications that the band the characters were helping are Reapers. I don't care about them introducing Beat and Rhyme so early on. I don't care about the so-so animation or by the numbers directing. All of these issues are bad enough on their own, but these doofuses crossed the line. That line being the beating heart of this hood classic, much less its beginning. First things first, they fucked up the conclusion to the force choke scene. Not only did they make Hanakoma's role less meaningful by making the duo come together on their own, but they even skipped over them asking any possible questions about him, his place in the game, and other clues that foreshadow what comes later. On top of that, they even made Neku way less at fault for what went down by integrating noise possession and even having him spill the beans about his amnesia on his own, with almost zero downtime beforehand. Not to mention his apology, despite the fact that, it wasn't his fault. And the crown jewel of fuck you was them taking away the side quests and challenges before facing each section in the game that showcased Neku's smarts and his and Shiki's progression as a team, giving them the stupid wombo combo finisher at the very end like it was no big deal. If this is a joke, I missed a part where I should be laughing here, and I can hear it. I can freaking smell the people who are gonna be like, Kaiser, they had to condense things down because of the runtime in the medium, And I just wanna say, I love you. But have you gone friggin' Maverick? Do you really think Square lets make 10 versions of Final Fantasy VII Enix?
It's literally two with
Final Fantasy VII
in their names. Do something else! Do something else!
Can't pony up enough cash to make this 24 episodes?
Bullshit.
This is supposed to be promotion for the fucking long-awaited sequel of your cult classic series. Take some pride in your work, or at the very damn least, give the star of your story some damn breathing room. No wonder they made Neku way less of an asshole and more overtly sympathetic in this adaptation. Navigating his flaws and fleshing him out would cost way more time than they were willing to give just in the first episode alone. But in doing so, they did the same thing that Netflix did. It took away the heart of the source material and by extension made shit boring. They made Neku boring.
What? You're just ruining it. Look at my lips, you're ruining it.
They took away Neku's flaws, his wit, his agency, and even his route for growth. His conflict with Shiki is now extremely fake because it's born from flaws both characters barely have anymore. And the stakes of the story mean jack shit because of how easily resolved they are. In my big Bumblebee video, which you guys should totally watch by the way, I mentioned why pacing is important, and it's because of shit like this. When you spend so little time fleshing out your story elements, it signals to your audience that these conflicts are small, petty, and easily resolved. And these are things Neku's development should never be. His flaws are what drive the game's story. It influences his relationships, produces conflicts, has consequences, and most of all have some goddamn soul. The title of the game is emblematic of this, because the game is all about Neku's growth, and finding out that the real world ends with you is the friends we made along the way. The world truly does end with him. His perceptions of reality and people are so closed off and warped, making his world, his internal reality stunted and cramped. He plugs his ears so that he doesn't have to participate in the games of society or life, especially the whole other people part of things. But if he opened his eyes, if he trusted other people more, and most importantly, trusted himself, his world could become bigger than he would ever thought possible. What the fuck is Netflix's story? He's emo, not an asshole. He's driven around, not driving the plot. And his character drama can honestly be removed from the story and not a damn thing would change about him. He's just some random protag with his friends trying to save the world. And this is how badly they fucked up in the first friggin' episode. I never played Neo, but I heard nothing but good things about it, and I am glad that there are people who enjoy what this series has to offer. And if by some BS voodoo this show brought you into the series or got you to appreciate it more, good on you. However, as a fan of the first game, I have got to say this. To me, personally, adaptations abide by the law of equivalent exchange. Whatever elements of the source you take away must produce an adaptation that is of around similar quality to the original, within reason of course. And this is by far the most broken alchemy I have ever seen. It has been a very long time since I had dropped a show after the very first episode. No, I'm not joking. This shit pissed me off that much. I couldn't watch the rest at all, despite looking forward to this for so friggin' long, bro. Again, put this into perspective. This first arc in the game is 1 hour long, counting the cutscenes, of course, not counting gameplay. Cramming nearly an hour's worth of story into a 24-minute episode is like trying to get diamonds from stone. And even that's more likely to go better than doing crypto, right, Square? Anyways, play the games. Good night.